Men's soccer picks up a huge win on senior night. A local craft brewery introduces the Pilots Pale Ale, and we visit with a pair of women's cross-country runners as the West Regionals are just days away. All that and more on Portside of the Pilots starting right now. Welcome to another edition of Portside of the Pilots. I'm your host, Adam Lindman. It's the end of an era for the Portland women's soccer program as the Vice President for Athletics, Scott Lakem, announced on Tuesday that Garrett Smith will not return as head coach of the Pilots. Smith, who is also a men's soccer student athlete on the Bluff, served 11 years as an assistant coach under Clive Charles before transitioning to the women's head coach for the last 15 seasons. Smith was at the helm during the team's undefeated 2005 national championship season. He led the Pilots to 5 other NCAA quarterfinal appearances, and he won 7 WCC championships and was named League Coach of the Year 6 times. Portland finished the 2017 season with a 5-13-1 overall record and a 2-7 league mark to miss the postseason for the 4th consecutive year. The Portland men's soccer team concluded the home portion of their schedule on Saturday, needing a win over Gonzaga to keep pace in the race for the West Coast Conference Championship. And the Pilots prevailed on senior night, defeating their Northwest rival Gonzaga 1-0 in stormy conditions at Merlo Field. The lone goal of the night came in the 35th minute, and it was a banger off the foot of Ray Ortiz. On a ball played in by Spencer Myers, Ortiz finished with a side volley into the corner of the net for his 5th goal of the year. The Pilots were also solid defensively, limiting Gonzaga to just 2 shots en route to their 6th shutout. And following the win, Ortiz, a sophomore midfielder, was named the WCC's Player of the Week for the 2nd time this season. Ortiz entered the weekend tied for the most assists in the country, but it was his goal that produced the 1-0 win for the Pilots. Sophomore teammate Benji Michel has also been named the league's Player of the Week twice this fall. The women's soccer all-conference teams were announced this week, and the Pilots had 2 players receiving honors. Sophomore midfielder Kimberly Haslett landed on the all-league 2nd team, while junior keeper Rachel Busby earned all-conference honorable mention. Haslett scored 1 goal and 1 assist this fall, and she landed on the all-freshman team last season. This is the first conference honor for Lusby, who ranks 2nd in the WCC in saves, and she's 3rd in both save percentage and saves per game. Lusby recorded a career-high 11 saves during Portland's win at LMU, and she's posted 3 shutouts. Portland men's tennis senior Mike Pervilarakis has stayed busy this fall, most recently competing at the Oracle ITA National Fall Championships last Saturday at the JW Marriott Desert Springs Resort and Spa. Ranked number 95 entering the fall, Pervilarakis qualified for the National Fall Championships after becoming the first player in University of Portland history to win the ITA Northwest Regional Championship. After dropping his opening match at the tournament, Pervilarakis rattled off 3 straight victories in the consolation bracket, but his run came to an end against number 51 ranked Alex Knight of Michigan on Saturday. His 3 wins should help put him in position to climb the ITA national rankings after a stellar fall season.
I found a way of winning the 2nd match after losing my 1st match, and the next day was way better. I played against 2 good players, so I was very happy about that day and very happy about how I just survived the 2nd day and then played really well the next one. I had some very good wins that I think are going to help a lot my individual ranking, individual national ranking. My goal for the end of the year is to play the NCAAs, and I feel that some wins I had this fall are going to help me do that.
After a successful fall season, Pervilarakis was named the Portland U.S. Bank Student Athlete of the Month. In addition to winning the ITA Northwest Regional Championship, Pervilarakis also competed at the St. Francis Health System ITA Men's All-American Championship, where he picked up a win in both singles and doubles action. The senior from Cyprus finished the fall with a 12-4 singles record and a 3-2 mark against ranked opponents. The men's basketball team played their final tune-up last Saturday, hosting Lewis and Clark in the Child Center in an exhibition game. The Pilots never trailed, and all 13 active players scored in a 103-61 victory over the Pioneers. Redshirt freshman guard Malcolm Porter led 5 Pilots in double figures with 14 points, while freshman guard JoJo Walker finished with 13 points. Portland shot 74% in the second half, and at one point scored 16 straight points. The women's team was also in action last Saturday night as they hosted Western Oregon in their lone exhibition game. After trailing at the half, the Pilots rallied in the second half, but the game was still in doubt in the closing seconds. That's when Ashley Gray ripped down a crucial offensive rebound and converted the putback to hand the Pilots the 73-72 win. Freshman Josie Matz scored 14 points off the bench in her collegiate debut. Coming up next, we chat with a pair of women's cross-country runners who are preparing to head to the NCAA West Regionals on Friday. Portside of the Pilots continues on NBC Sports Northwest after the break. Welcome back. We're joined now by women's cross-country junior Taryn Rawlings and redshirt sophomore Eva Richardson. Guys, thanks for joining us this evening. Big week for both of you as your team heads to Seattle for the West Regionals. Taryn, we'll start with you. What are you guys hoping to accomplish this week?
Yeah, so this race is kind of like the culminating race for the season, and we're really hoping to just come away with good races across the board. I think that's one thing this season that we quite haven't had yet, is having everyone walk away feeling really good about their races. So we're kind of hoping to have it all come together this weekend.
And Eva, same question, some goals for you guys going into Friday.
Yeah, kind of like Taryn said, we all just want to go out there and give it everything and hopefully just have the best race we can have. It hasn't all kind of come together quite yet for us, so we're just hoping to give it our best shot on Friday.
And so, Eva, you guys were receiving votes in the national polls earlier this year. You've had some results at some of the meets. Talk about how the fall has gone for you guys so far.
Yeah, so I think we kind of knew ourselves among the team where we were at this year. We lost a lot of good seniors, and the decision was made earlier in the year to redshirt Lauren LaRocco. So we knew that apart from Taryn, we had a young team, a more inexperienced team, but that was a good opportunity for some of the younger girls to step up and gain experience, and next year then we'll build on that.
And Taryn, you're coming off quite the sophomore year. You ran at nationals last year. You reached the semifinals in the 1500 at the Outdoor Track and Field Championships. Talk about what that was like to experience.
Last year was pretty incredible. Going to nationals for the first time ever with a cross-country team was really awesome and really eye-opening to just how good the NCAA is. And then going into the track season, being in my own 1500 event was really cool, and being able to get to the national meet was really exciting. But it definitely it gives you a lot of confidence once you can make it to a national meet, to know that you can be running with them. So I'm just kind of trying to spread that down to the younger girls. Kind of getting that experience can help you going forward in the later races.
Now, Eva, you're from Ireland. Ran for Ireland's junior national cross-country teams. You won the silver at the U20 National Championships. Talk about your experience running in Europe and how you ended up at UP.
Yeah, so running at European cross country was a really great experience for me. Not only racing some of the best people in Europe, but also kind of putting my name out there, and that's how our assistant coach here heard about me and got in contact with me and asked would I consider coming and running in the States. And it hadn't, at that time it wasn't really anything I considered, but from there I kind of researched it more and thought I'd give it a shot. So it's definitely one of the best choices I've ever made because I love it. I love it here.
And I hear your dad is actually a pretty accomplished long-distance runner as well, with some impressive times in the 5 and 10Ks. Has he been influential in the development of your running?
Yeah, definitely. So both my parents ran too. They both ran for Ireland back in the day, and they actually both coached me until I came here. So they've been, invaluable in my running career up to now, and they always just give me really good advice and have been really supportive.
And Taryn, here your mom was also an accomplished runner, and as you were coming up, it was one of your goals to surpass your mom's times in some of the events. Did that relationship help fuel your passion?
Definitely, yeah. It's always kind of been a fun family rivalry that we've had, especially since we both had top times in Oregon when we were in high school, and so kind of trying to pass each other on the record books was always a goal, which was fun. But yeah, she's been great. She just is really supportive because she really understands the sport, so it's been awesome. And having her, like, she'll always get on her bike to ride with me whenever I'm home, and so it's always been a really good support system.
And this question is for both of you. What are some of your favorite memories so far at UP? Taryn, start with you.
I would have to say winning conference last year as a team was probably my fondest memory. I just remember it was such a whirlwind of emotions because we crossed the line and all of us were nearly in tears because we didn't think we did it, because we just got out so terribly. But then Ian brought us in and he's like, I think you guys did it, I think we did it, and we all just started screaming and crying tears of joy, and it was just a crazy day, so that was awesome.
Eva?
Well, we've had some really great memories at our team camp in the summer over the years, and also 2 weeks ago my parents came out to watch the conference meet, so that was really special for them. It was my first time seeing me race in college, so that's probably one of my top memories.
You mentioned your coach, Ian Soloff. He's been the head women's coach here for seemingly ever. He's been the conference coach of the year 7 times. He ran for the Pilots. Talk about what he has meant to both of you guys. Eva?
Ian's always been really supportive and really good at kind of recognizing the potential in us, I think. So last year, I've improved a lot since last year, and just for him to be really patient with me while I was developing and getting better is something I think is really important in a good coach. So.
Taryn?
Yeah, I'd have to say similarly that he is really good at seeing the potential in people, and he will really believe in you more than anyone else, and he will take the steps to give you whatever you need to succeed, and he's always been very supportive and will do whatever he's got to do to help you, so he's been awesome.
Taryn Rawlings and Eva Richardson, thank you so much for joining us this evening. Good luck Friday and beyond.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Known as Beervana, it's no secret that Portland is the craft brew capital of the world. And this week, Rogue Ales and Spirits will launch a new Pilot's Pale Ale as a tribute to the brewery's ties to the University of Portland. Rogue's innovation brewer Danny Connors is a former Pilot men's soccer player, while Director of Marketing Anna Abatzaglu was a volleyball player on the Bluff.
I went to UP from 1999 to 2003. My experience on campus at University of Portland was great, being a student athlete, playing volleyball, had a great team, and I was a biology major for the first year, and then I transferred to the School of Business and became a global business major, and then got a certificate in Spanish.
Abatzaglu again, third time's a charm and a point for Portland.
I went to UP starting in the fall of 2006. I was part of the class of 2010, and I played soccer. I studied biology at UP, which correlates very directly to most of the stuff you're going to do in brewing. Chemistry, organic chemistry, stuff that's happening with the yeast, cell biology, thermodynamics, fluids moving through pipes and staying cold and changing temperatures. The biology degree absolutely was a good way to go if you want to be a brewer.
Pilot Pale Ale is made for pilots by pilots. We wanted to make a beer for University of Portland. There's a lot of connections. I went to University of Portland, played sports there. Danny, our innovation brewer, went to University of Portland, played sports, and that's how Pilot's Pale Ale was invented.
This is our nano brew system. I can do test batches on this. Usually creates about 2 kegs at a time. This is pretty much where every beer that I'm brewing starts on a small scale here. This is where I did the first batch of the Pilot Pale Ale. The Pilot Pale Ale, designed it to be an easy drinking beer, something that would be consumed at the games, people be able to drink more than one of. So we try to keep the ABV low, below 5.
The concept started over a year ago. Danny and I were talking and he's like, why don't I make a beer for University of Portland? I'm like, that's a fantastic idea.
The beer should have a good haziness to it from the wheat, pretty good head as well from the wheat, nice and pale straw color. And the nose is a little bit of citrus, a little bit of blueberry from the hops, and then it also has kind of a biscuity note from the malts. Flavor is pretty fruity up front, especially the blueberry you'll notice, and then finishes with a good kind of balance of bitterness, a little bit of a crisp bite.
We started brewing something that really could be enjoyed while watching games. It's a great beer that brings people together, and that's what the spirit of craft beer is really.
It also has plenty of that hop flavor and aroma that people love. People probably get a lot of what they like out of IPAs. I brewed it with a lot of wheat and some oats as well. So it gives it a lot of body, a lot of texture. So even though you're drinking a beer that's not that high ABV, you still kind of feel like you're actually drinking a substantial beer. It has that flavor and mouthfeel.
It's special because it's got a lot of flavor. It's super easy to drink.
Use some hops that are grown on our farm, our Liberty hops and our Rebel hops. And also used a hop called Mosaic that's really fruity, tropical fruit, blueberry. So yeah, it's like a easy drinking little beer, dry hopped it as well, so it should have plenty of hop flavor and aroma on the end, and just designed to be sessionable.
It will launch officially November 11th at the men's home basketball game against Portland State University. It will also be available on campus at the Pilot House. It will be poured in all our pubs in Portland, and you might be able to find it hopefully close to campus.
Full circle is a good word for it. It's awesome that I can now go and drink my beer there and just wax nostalgic and talk about the good old days.
It's truly a privilege to have this collaboration with my alma mater. I definitely wouldn't be who I am today without University of Portland, without the experience I had there. I'm very proud to be able to have this connection and make this offering and to work with Danny to bring it back to the school.
The men's soccer team faces another crucial game this weekend as they wrap up the regular season on the road at St. Mary's. The Pilots currently have 13 points in conference, and the race for the league title and automatic berth to the NCAA playoffs is down to Portland, San Francisco, and Pacific. The Pilots are chasing their second straight league crown, and for the second straight year, it will come down to a match against the Gales on the final day of the regular season.
All we have control over is our approach going into a very difficult place to play at St. Mary's, and you know, if we can finish with 10 wins, I think we have a very good chance. But we'll take it one day at a time. We just got to get better during the week and prepare to play a very tough St. Mary's team. So the message with the team will be the same: continue to prepare, get better every day, play well as a team, and stick together and enjoy the process.
Country team enters Friday morning's West Regional in Seattle as the number 6 ranked team in the nation. Portland is also ranked number 2 in the West, behind only Stanford. Earlier this season, Portland finished ahead of Stanford at the prestigious Nutty Kiln Invite, where the Pilots placed 2nd overall.
Moving on to regionals, we're excited. We've been training for these 2 races. It's postseason's big because it's 10K time. You know, 2 10Ks in 8 days. It's a big deal. This is what we're training for. What we've been training for since June, July, August, all those miles in, or for these 2 weeks, really. So the team's excited, ready. The energy on the team is highest it's been all season, so we're excited.
The women's cross-country team will also be competing at regionals on Friday in Seattle. Portland enters the weekend ranked 11th in the West, and the team finished 16th at pre-nationals earlier this fall. Portland is currently receiving votes in the national coaches poll, and last year the Pilots finished 5th at regionals en route to their first ever visit as a team to the NCAA championships.
We're really excited heading into regionals this week. Training has gone really well. We're all feeling good, and we're just excited to put everything we've learned from the past races together and hopefully it pays off on the day.
Basketball season is officially here as the men's hoop team begins the campaign Saturday night at home against crosstown rival Portland State. Tip-off for the two rivals is set for 7 p.m. at the Chow Center, and the game begins the second year of the head coach Terry Porter era. Coach Porter welcomed the nation's number 10 recruiting class to the Bluff this fall, and the team returns 4 letter winners, which includes 2 starters. The game will be shown live right here on NBC Sports Northwest.
This is going to be a very exciting game, very up-tempo game. We think they're going to really come in here and try to pressure us and make this game, up-tempo style where it can get into the high 90s or 100s. But we're excited. We know that they have a lot of upperclassmen returning, and those guys are really good. They're very athletic, and we know they're going to try to pressure us and speed us up. We're ready and excited about the challenge.
The women's hoops team is also opening the season at home this weekend, hosting Hawaii on Friday night for a 7 p.m. tip at the Chow Center. The game with Hawaii is one of 3 straight home games to start the year for the Pilots. Portland is young with 7 newcomers, but the Pilots also return 7 letter winners, which includes junior guard Darian Slaga.
We're excited. We got a lot of momentum going into this week coming from the exhibition game. So we've been focusing hard this week. We're really excited for Friday and then 3 games within this next coming week. We just have a very aggressive defensive mentality, so I would say watch out for that. We have a new mindset going into this season, and that's our focus. We have defensive goals in mind.
Volleyball is also home this weekend as it's a busy week on the Bluff. First, the Pilots host 12th-ranked San Diego on Thursday night at the Chow Center at 7 p.m. in a match that will be televised on NBC Sports Northwest. The home schedule comes to an end on Saturday when number 9 BYU visits on Senior Day for a 1 p.m. matchup. The Pilots will honor a trio of seniors Morgan Robinson, Sarah Savoca, and Hannah Troutman with a pre-match ceremony. And we're out of time, but be sure to send us any questions, requests for content, or just give us some feedback by using the hashtag Portside on social media. And that will do it for this episode of Portside of the Pilots. We'll see you next week.